Welcome to Success Superstars, episode number 77, and my special guest, Laura Swearingen.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me, Mark.
You're welcome, and so glad for the audience to learn a little bit more about you and your success.
Okay.
But before we talk about that, speaking of success, you just went on vacation to Steamboat.
I did.
An amazing, I grew up in Colorado, so I know Steamboat and a lot of the resort areas there. So
it's beautiful. The mountains, the rivers. I mean, oh my gosh, it is gorgeous there.
Yes,
we love getting away there.
Now, do you have any other vacations planned?
Actually, we do. Coming back for 2 weeks, and then 1st of August, we're heading on a Baltic cruise for 3 weeks.
Awesome.
I know. Life is good.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It always slows down in August, so that's usually a really good time to vacation.
Well, in Texas, it's hot, but in Texas, in August, it's really hot.
It is.
So it's a good time to
get away.
So tell us a little bit about what you did before real estate.
Well, before I got into real estate, I was a systems analyst with Exxon, believe it or not, which I wasn't really crazy about that. And so after I got pregnant, I stayed home with the boys for a little while and decided I need something more than just being a mom.
Right.
So I felt like I really wanted to do something that I can help people and fulfill their dreams. So I thought real estate would be great.
Yeah, and so you did that, and you're actually specializing more so in the luxury end of the market?
I do a lot of luxury. I do all over the board,
right.
But I do a lot of luxury, yes.
Yeah. What do you find is different in the luxury consumer base? Is there anything different?
I think so, yeah. I mean, they expect more. They expect a little bit more than the normal.
They expect a higher level of service.
Yes, a higher level of service. You better be, when they're calling, you need to be answering the phone when they call.
Right.
Even like their service providers, people that would normally, an electrician, that kind of thing, you got to think outside the box. So when I go talk to one of them, I might need a pooper scooper.
Right.
Or I might need, a designer, or something
services.
very different services than other people might think.
Well, so as you started into real estate, let's go back to like your first year.
Okay.
In your first year, was it tough?
You know what? I was having fun. My mindset was at that time, let me just do this part-time. I'll make some extra money, help people.
Okay.
And my husband traveled a lot then, so I thought, it'll be a lot of fun while he's gone. And once I started it, I'm like, this is so not going to be part-time.
Right.
My first year, I actually did really good.
Right.
Believe it or not, with 2 kids at home, I did very well.
Right.
Just started asking for business and really got into the kids' school at that time, and it just kind of really snowballed.
So your first year was more around networking and the people you knew.
Yes, absolutely.
And then since then, how have you grown the business? Have you expanded to different lead sources, or are you still sphere-based?
You know what? What comes around goes around, so to speak, with the cycle. When I first started, it was just all sphere of influence. I was in the PTA, I was room mom, I was in their baseball, and everywhere I went, I wore whatever real estate company I was with. I wore the shirt. Oh, gosh, have y'all heard about the real estate market? So I was always talking about it while I was having fun. Then I decided I'm so busy, so I had to start and get an assistant. Then I was really busy and started getting a buyer's agent. And from that, it just grew. I mean, most of my career, I've had a very big team.
Right.
And then now I'm deciding it's just me and my husband now. I kind of got rid of all the other part of it, and I'm kind of refocusing basically on my sphere and referrals again.
Yeah.
In between time, I would buy a lot of leads, did door knock, for sale by owners. I mean, you name it, I've probably done it.
Yeah. Now, going back to that first time you hired an assistant.
Yes.
Was that tough?
No, it actually wasn't, because I was so busy. I was ready just to try to get something away, so that I knew that I was bumping a wall. Without hiring somebody, I wasn't going to get any farther. I'm putting in the same amount of hours, the same amount of time, and I can't propel forward.
You couldn't propel forward. So when you hired that assistant, did you find, you immediately were able to delegate and then grow your business?
Yes. Well, first I had to come up with, this was real kind of critical for me, is I always knew what I needed to do with every transaction.
Right.
But when you pass it off, I had to come up with the transaction coordinator checklist when you're pending a file, and one for listing. And once I got that down and really kind of nailed it and made sure my assistant knew it, then I can get it off my chest. Because I could open the file at any time. I know where it is. I know what she did, what she didn't do, and that. So that helped me be able to let go.
Yeah. So letting go is obviously a key part of your success.
Yes.
You were able to successfully delegate and focus on the activities that you excel at. So, do you have anything in your daily routine in terms of your approach to the business that's unique or serves you very, very well?
I don't know if it's necessarily unique. I mean, I've been doing it 27 years, so probably 25 years ago, I just learned you prospect a couple hours a day, whether that's people whether it's past clients, whether it's you're calling for sale by owners, whether you're calling Zillow leads, wherever your lead sources are. And you have to have more than one lead source if you're gonna do good in the business.
Right.
So you're making calls 2 hours a day. And I think what was critical for me is to stay in touch with all my clients and my sphere.
Yeah.
And so
how
it's
do you
kind
do
of
that?
fun.
Do you have a system to do that? Do you have a process to stay in touch? How do you keep track of all of that?
Well, I had a database from day one, just about, and so I've got my database in there, and I kind of came up with a list of, okay, I've got A, B, C, clients.
Right.
The A's are going to get called this many times a year. The B's are, who's going to be called what kind.
Right.
So I just pull off my A clients and know that how many do I need to make in a month.
Right.
So I just take my numbers and work it backwards.
Right.
And then
so you plan out the month, and here's what you're going to do?
I do, and then I try to do note cards. The one thing I have done that really helps if I get too slammed to stick with that is I do a lot of parties for my clients.
So tell us more about that. Are these kind of informal dinner parties? Or?
Well, like I will take my A clients, my A and my A plus, and I do a client appreciation party once a year. And so they're all invited to my house. It's catered. It's anywhere from 75 to 125 people.
Right.
A lot of my clients that had kids didn't show up for that because we serve alcohol, and I'd rather not have children there. So that's a big event, and everybody loves it. They're sitting on the patio, they're all around the house, everybody's mingling. So that's a lot of fun. So then after I did that for so many years, I decided, some of my clients with kids aren't coming, so I need to figure out what to do with that. So then I did a Santa Claus pictures with Santa party. So they came, they got their pictures with Santa. They get to take it home with them, and then we can use their cell phone and take as many as they want. And we had like 4 crafts for the kids and snacks, and so they loved it. They'd stay the whole time.
Yeah, that's fun.
So then I got that group to attend. And then in February, I would do Valentine flowers. I'd call a lot of my guy clients and saying, hey, we're going to do free Valentine flowers. Me and a lender of mine, we would order them, and then we'd sit and put all the arrangements together. And they'd come by at a certain time and pick them up. And we got to talk. Right. And then I did a Easter egg hunt. I tried to do an Easter egg hunt, again, for the kids.
Yeah, fun. So you're very intentional.
Yes.
About this, and so obviously that takes some planning and organization, but
it does.
Certainly not only fun, adds value, but generates some connections.
I usually always get referrals, or someone's like, I'm thinking about selling now. I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So it brings up the topic of who's gonna do that, and usually I've got to keep my phone out because I'm busy and jot it down in my notes. So I don't remember if I had 4 or 5. Okay, who are those 4 or 5 people? I can only count 2.
Right. Yeah. So super great idea. Now, as you look back, is there, anything that you would have done differently?
Yes.
Oh, what is it?
And it took me probably about 3 years to figure this out. And once I did, I'm like, why did I not do this earlier? So when I started, my kids were like, 4 and 9. My husband traveled Monday through Friday, so I had them during the week and weekends and activities and things like that. And I was so hungry, and I love what I did. It's like someone called, oh, yeah, I'll show you a house at this. Oh, you want to see this? Oh, no problem. And my kids are like, we don't see you anymore. You said we were going to Six Flags, and you're canceling. I'm like, I know, but Mom's got to go show a house. And so then I started thinking, wait a second. So then I'm like, you know what? My son played baseball. I'm like, I'm not missing his game. So when someone said, can I see a house at 2? I said, you know what? I'm so sorry. I'm already booked at 2. I can do 10, or I could do this. Which one works better? So the main thing is I finally figured out you plan your family time